Hi everyone, we are back to internet space with some kind of brand new project which is called Bfteam podcast where high level practitioners and me will discuss different strengths and conditioning topics. Hope it will be available not only on YouTube but also on different podcast platforms. So today I am excited to announce that first guest is incredible Luka Svilar, great coach and even better person, specialist whom I'm proud to consider a mentor. At some point, Luka changed my mind a lot, so huge thanks to him for that. And as a polite host, I can't help but give you the floor. Feel free to introduce yourself as you wish.
Well, you said everything. People need to know that I'm a coach, I'm a practitioner, and hopefully they can hear something good from my experience. And let's talk about that. I'm very happy that I'm part of the project, the new project, because you have always a lot of projects going on. And to be honest, I didn't know that it's completely new thing. I thought it was operating in Russian, and then I will just be uh, a guest in a English version of the podcast. So I'm happy that I can be the first guest, and hopefully you will have better guests in the future. So I can also keep following people and the podcast.
Perfect. So Dennis Rodman is here. Couple of your books are also here. So let's move on to the questions. We have a ton of them. I already sent you the list. So let's start with very first one. You had a chance to work in three top levels: NBA, EuroLeague, EuroCup. And what are the main differences for you between NBA and all other levels?
It's crazy. First of, I'm gonna answer the question, but it's crazy when you said now there is a Dennis Rodman on the table. Actually, it's a funny thing, but this summer I had privilege to work with Dennis Rodman, but
Wow,
but it's Dennis Rodman Jr. It's his son.
it's still
It's his,
good.
yes, he was on our team in Las Vegas, and eventually he joined the Hornets G League team
Wow.
for the upcoming season. Great guy, great person, and it's crazy how the world ends up being super small. You grew basically. I grew up watching the Bulls and following Dennis Rodman and his career, and now 25 years after, I'm
Uh-huh.
coaching his son.
Yeah, for
that's,
sure.
that's pretty wild.
A
But
legendary connection.
yeah, going back to your question, yeah, the experience is pretty broad. I had chance to work at the highest levels of the world basketball, and definitely NBA experience expanded a lot. Uh, what I was trying to achieve, I was really trying to go to the highest level so I can get the full experience and I can be in a position to kind of evaluate um, the differences. So when we talk about the differences between the NBA and let's say EuroLeague, EuroCup level, which is elite level in Europe, I think we can look at it from different perspectives. I think first of all, something that we would appreciate as strength coaches is the respect that you get in the NBA right away. Because if you get the job, if someone hires you, whether it is president or vice president of health and performance, whether it's director of athletic performance, whether it is a front office like a GM or assistant GM that hires you, and you get the job, you are respected from the very first moment when that job was given to you. And you're held accountable for what you do. And people expect nothing but high things and high delivery on a daily basis from you. And this is something that is unique to the NBA world compared to Europe, where we still have a lot of head coaches who are not so supportive of our role, or they want to be in charge of many things, so they don't trust you. And I understand the part of building a trust, and then after a couple of months, if you are really the guy, if you are really a good coach, head coach will give you space to work. In Europe, there is still this thing that you have to prove yourself as a practitioner, while in the NBA, from the very first moment when you join the team, people are pointing at you as you are the guy. This is our guy, and he knows what to do, you know? So there is a lot of respect. So from the very first moment, you don't have to think about it. You just need to think about how to deliver your best to the players and to the team. And the second main difference are the people in general. And by people, I mean a higher number of people that is involved. You had a chance to be with the Pelicans at the Summer League, and going to practice and going to the games in Summer League with 2 buses tells you everything. Bus 1, bus 2, staff, media, front office. On one bus, other bus with players and ATs and maybe a couple of coaches. So this is a big difference, and it's not just the number of people. Why I'm saying this is the communication is done at a higher level, and your dedication and anticipation of the things that you have to do when it comes to communication is different, because you really have to think in advance, anticipate things, and be involved on different chats. If you have in Europe, you have 2, 3, 4 chats on a team on WhatsApp, like 2, 3, 4 WhatsApp groups. In the NBA, they don't operate through WhatsApp. They operate usually through apps or iMessage, or there is an internal system that we use for chat, like Slack or whatever, Teamworks, you name it, whatever the brand is. But you have simultaneously 10 to 15 chats that are live every single day. There is a chat for injured players. There is a chat for performance staff. There is a chat for health and performance. There is a chat with front office. There is a chat with coaches. There is a chat for two-way guys. There is a chat, blah, 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 with nutrition, you name it. So it's just more people involved, and that demands more focus on communication and more focus on the leadership. And if you're not in a leadership role, at least to understand people who are the leaders of specific teams. Then obviously resources. We always talk about, they have everything in the NBA. It is easier to purchase new equipment in the NBA because it is something that is part of the culture. If there are new trends in the world, NBA franchise will always give more or less money, but there will always, every season, most likely there will be always some money to invest in new technologies, whatever is needed, which in Europe, it's still, in some teams, you always have certain budget. Some teams that recognize that at the high level, and there are still some teams that, if you need to purchase after being for 3 years in a team, and then after 3 years you still ask for $3,000 for things that just disappear or wore out, like mini bands, rollers, you name it, you still get the question like, why? So you're not given the budget. There is always this kind of suspicious mindset from the front office, like why is he buying equipment every single year and so on and so forth. So it's a little bit easier to purchase things and get things that you need for daily work. And it's not only about technology, it's about also food and supplements, and travel is different, especially when we compare NBA to EuroLeague. Charter flights are um, a standard. There is no other option, while in Europe, only I would say up to half EuroLeague teams use charters for all of the games. Other half sometimes travels commercial, sometimes they take charters when travel is annoying or there are more games, you know. So we are going in that direction in Europe. Things are improving and teams are understanding the importance of charter flights, but it's still not a standard across the league, right?
Mhm.
Especially in EuroCup. And then, last but not least, the players. Obviously there is a difference in a physical talent. By talent, I mean that there are a bunch of players in the NBA and in the G League that are genetically freaks.
Mm-hmm.
And when you ask them how often they lift weights, and I'm not saying that it's a standard, I'm talking about 20-30% of the players who don't go often to the weight room and they can easily touch the rim with the top of their head. Uh, so there is a huge physical talent. The pool is enormous here in US. The question is the skill, if they can really um, contribute with their skill, and that will be recognized. And then they will eventually be a part of the NBA for many years. Otherwise, if they don't have a skill but pure physical talent, eventually they're gonna end up in lower level leagues across the world. And obviously also the performance part. NBA is the best league in the world. We can debate about how the game is played and tactical and joy to watch and playing or not playing defense. I mean, I would not go into that direction to talk about it, but I mean, people can talk about it, but we can still say that the highest level of individual performance and skill is still there.
Mm-hmm.
So you still get to enjoy um, individual moves that players do, and passes and crossovers, and on the physical side, the dunks, the block shots. I was a guest in one of the podcasts. I think it was a Croatian podcast, and they asked me about the differences, and I said the difference is just in the number of physically talented
Mm-hmm.
uh, and developed players, because some of the guys were developed into physical freaks, you know, by working hard. And the number is just greater of players with a huge potential. So what you see in one EuroLeague round from all of the teams, you see 5 or 10 times more often in the NBA round. You know, what you see once a week in practice, like a block shot, over there you see every single practice. You know, so it's just the number of physically talented players with high level performance. So um, great things that you like to see um, in practice or in games, over there you just see more often. And I think you would agree on that. I guess when you were part of the practices in Vegas, even though it was not top of the NBA players, it was the summer league team, you could still see that some of the things happen very, very often, like block
Yeah.
shots, crazy
Yeah.
dunks, um, you know. So I guess that would be the major differences. We can go to details, but I think these four aspects, respect, people, resources, and players, are the main ones.
Great answer. I think there is nothing to add. I'll just say that, yeah, even during practices, at least every third episode is like a highlight during practice. So I was like totally out all these days when I had a chance to watch games, practices between these games. It was awesome experience. And let's move to second question. It's about hierarchy of Charlotte Hornets performance staff and for what you personally was responsible there.
Mhm. I accepted the role of the assistant athletic performance coach.
Mhm.
And for that very first year, everyone was new, um, new ownership, new coaching staff, 15 people there, 15 people on the health and performance side. So I accepted the role of the assistant. There was a head athletic performance coach who is still with the team, Anthony Berry, amazing guy who came from the background of Lakers and Detroit Pistons,
Mhm.
well experienced in the field, and for a reason, being a head in Charlotte. And there is a director of athletic performance, Bryce Daub, who
Mhm.
is coming from Oklahoma University, being there for a decade or so. And before that, he had also NBA experiences. And his father is a legend who retired a couple of years ago, but still worked as a part-time uh, with OKC.
Okay,
And
cool.
yeah, and it's great that now basically in retirement he got the ring.
Uh,
Uh, Great guy who is still around OKC, still around the NBA combine in Chicago. Great energy, and I was lucky enough that a couple of times in the season I was around him.
mhm.
And on the other side, Bryce is an amazing director, great leader, uh, very well experienced, and you can tell that uh, he has been molded into a great leader, not only a great coach. And this was the whole athletic performance staff for the first year, three of us. Obviously, me being an assistant, the role was to assist with everything what was needed. And then one thing that was pretty beneficial for me is that, uh, especially in the late season, when I finished the G League season, I was given a lot of responsibilities because they felt full trust with me based off of my background and experience in the field. So early in the season, it was just assisting with the training camp, um working with different on different things, preparing everything for the G League season that goes from November until March. So I was with the G League team for those 5 months, and it was a great experience as well. Being there, the only strength and conditioning coach or athletic performance coach, and then I got back to Charlotte, and I was there from April until uh, the end of August. So
Mhm.
uh, later we had more responsibilities. I had more responsibilities to cover. In the off season, we were moving to another facility to train in the off season. I was in charge for many things during pre-draft workouts,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to testing and reporting and setting everything up according to the standards of the NBA combine, plus some extra tests that we were doing as a part of what we called Hornets combine.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was just um assisting with everything, um, being active and proactive during meetings, staff meetings, in trying to bring new ideas to the table, preparing different materials. We prepared our internal document that was called Hornets Combine.
Mhm.
So working on different things, just trying to help coaches and people on the health side, medical side, as much as possible, and then just taking care of the players. You know, in the off season we had our pods where every coach, three of us would have 5, 6 players. We were lucky enough that before summer league and after summer league, we had constantly 10 to 15 players in town. Some NBA teams don't have even 3 players working out during summer because of the location or because of the franchise standards. We had a lot of work to do. At some point in August, we would have 16 players in town, 17 players in town. So it was a lot of work, and we distributed work as needed. There were great moments for me where I need to step in, and Bryce and AB went to Chicago for a full week of the combine. I was there for first 3 days during the elite camp, and then they went there, and I was taking care of the guys in Charlotte for a week, and we had 11, 12 guys on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. So that was pretty much fun, but it's nothing different from what I experienced in Europe, just taking care of the business, taking care of the guys. And it was relatively easy because, as I said, the triangle between Bryce, AB, and myself was functioning super well, super healthy relationship with a lot of respect. And everyone in the triangle was very active in a sense to really deliver the best what we can to the players, and that was recognized by the players, by coaching staff, by everyone around, and that's why we were successful in the summer league, I guess, in a way to keep players healthy, working hard, and then just having a successful summer, working with all of the guys, and hopefully it will pay off during the season.
Cool answer. You had definitely lots of job to do, but if you're always trying to be responsible, so you are that kind of person, you will always be loaded with some kind of things around the team. So I appreciate this opinion, and I'm very proud of you, and that I know you in person. So let's continue with NBA preseason camp. So how much time did it take there in Charlotte, and how performance staff organized work, of course, in terms of strength and conditioning during the camp? I mean, sharing responsibilities, all this sort of stuff.
Well, training camp is relatively simple. There was an agreement, I guess, with the coaches. Bryce was leading, obviously, on the strength and conditioning side, and AB. In general, about building a team, and main focus is basketball. So training camp lasts for maybe 10 to 15 days, and exhibition games would start after 8, 9, 10 days. So last 7 days of the training camp would actually be devoted mainly to playing back-to-back games. So a lot of exhibition games and not so much time to work. And then the first, let's say, 7 to 10 days, we were at Duke University. This year, training camp was organized in Charleston, North Carolina. And priority, as I said, is on basketball. There are days when team would practice 2 times. There are days when we would practice only 1 time. And at that point, strength and conditioning work is not extremely individualized. Maybe it's more work in smaller groups, just to activate guys, work on more like health properties, simple stuff, just to keep working on certain things, tissue health, resilience, and just to get them ready for the main thing, which is work on the basketball court. And a lot of things on our side revolves around providing the best care inactive type of recovery, um, because some of the stresses that they accumulate and sessions that they do are pretty much similar to what we would do in Europe, like very long, 2.5, 3 hour uh, team practices. And when you have a couple of days in a row of those long sessions, players definitely need a lot of recovery, and obviously a lot of recovery is delivered by the medical staff, but also with us having small groups and taking care of them, uh, doing a lot of uh, active recovery stuff like biking, stretching, rolling, taking them to spa and sauna, cold plunges, you name it. So it's relatively easy. It's just a lot of work because especially in the days when you have 2 sessions a day, uh, and it can be up to like 20 players on a team. So there is a lot of things to organize. But as I said, uh, I think the culture across the league is that as an athletic performance team, you don't, you never think that training camp priority is the athletic performance. Uh, it's secondary or tertiary, never a primary thing, and it is in that way it is organized. And then sometimes it can be like a circuit stuff in the weight room, sometimes it can be stations, sometimes things can be done as a longer warm up on the court and using some simple small and large elastic bands, medicine balls and stuff like that. And it can be a lot of like core work, yielding isos for knees and ankles, and stuff like that. Not every single day, but as I said, things revolve about mainly about like tissue health, tissue resilience, uh, and then you progress into something that is more explosive. It also depends a lot on what was done prior to the training camp, because, for example, situation that you have this year and situation that you would have next year could be potentially very different, because if you have a new ownership, new players, uh, and you don't have a lot of players in town prior to the training camp, maybe during the training camp you have to start from something different and you need to start building something. While maybe next year, most of the team, the core of the team, will work for a longer period, maybe during the whole month of September, and you will develop so many basic things like tissue health, resilience, basic strength, whatever your starting point is. And then when you go into training camp, maybe you can go super individual. So what works one year doesn't mean that it will be the same the next training camp. And I think that's the beauty of our job, that we evaluate what we have. Um, Last year it was very specific because I said new ownership, specific summer, specific number of players in town, specific expectations, new coaching staff, new health and performance staff. Now this year, the core of the team was there. There was a high level of um, work during the summer by all of the players. Coaching staff knows well athletic performance staff. So the decisions that they made for this training camp in Charleston might be significantly, I'm not going to say completely, but significantly different when it comes to programming weight room stuff compared to what we did at Duke last year, you know. And this is, as I said, this is the beauty of the job. But usually, as I said, usually uh, training camp priority is on basketball, getting players to play more together, set up tactical stuff and the way how to play on offense and defense, building a little bit of culture, and then just uh, trying to keep players available, healthy, and if there are some moments where you can work and on developing certain things, then obviously you take advantage of those moments.
One more great answer. Yeah, and you said right that this is the beauty of our job, that nearly every season we meet with something new. And this is what does not let us to sit on the same chair year and year again, not to progress as a coach, because not only players need progress, coaches also. So I like your point of view. And about NBA schedule is extremely intensive and the environment is chaotic. So what are the key principles of in-season strength and conditioning training in such circumstances for you?
Well, during the in season, it's all about microdosing.
Mm,
Uh, this is something that Corey Schlesinger made very popular as a term. But to be honest, when I was hired to work with Baskonia
mm-hmm,
in 2016, and there was the change in format of EuroLeague with more games and having this double week in EuroLeague and so on and so forth, the only logical thing for me to do was to focus on short lifts that will minimize fatigue,
mm-hmm,
but more frequent, so we can talk about development and growth and not deterioration, but more about like maintaining, and in certain moments of the season maybe we can even grow, right? So back in Baskonia, I always had training sessions in the weight room for 25 to 30 minutes prior to every team practice.
mm-hmm,
Then other things, programs were always individualized.
mm-hmm,
And then when we would play a game, there would be another strategy of individualizing things for the players who played more or less
mm-hmm,
minutes. You know, if we simplify it, there can be two buckets: players that played up to 15 minutes and players that played more than 20 minutes. We can also split it in three groups, maybe players that play up to 10 minutes, players that play up to 25 minutes, and players that played more than 25 minutes,
mm-hmm,
right? It's up to you, however you want to put it, right? But there has to be uh, a lot of individualization during the in season in EuroLeague, and obviously in the NBA, it's a must. Um some things are actually easier in the NBA because there is a more consistency in playing minutes,
mm-hmm,
and substitutions are done specifically in many cases by the book, by the pre-planned. You know, you will play 8 minutes in the first quarter, and then you will come back in the second quarter after 4 minutes. You will play until the end of the second quarter. You will start the third quarter, blah 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 blah. You know, in Europe it's still a little bit chaotic, and some of the games only 7 players can play, and some games 11 players can play significant minutes. So in NBA, it's a little bit easier to anticipate if no one gets injured. It's a little bit easier to anticipate the minutes that players will play, and according to that, you can plan the activities when it comes to um, weight room work or compensatory work on the court. You know, so it's all about, as I said, individual plan, and then understanding how much players played
mm-hmm,
and understanding the needs to rest, and understanding during the week which days you want to go high loads, in which days you want to go low load and rest, you know.
mm-hmm,
Um, and not every game day is a high day for everyone.
mm-hmm,
It depends if you're on the road, if you're not on the road, if you're at home. players that didn't play, they can just there is this viral thing of post-game lifts in the NBA, and I'm like, okay, post-game lift is for players that played many minutes because tomorrow they will chill.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So players that played more than 20 minutes will lift, maybe full body. Players that played more than 30 minutes will maybe go only upper body lift and lower body maybe yielding isos or something, whatever is easier, not so taxing. Maybe depends on the specific player. I'm just sharing some rules of thumb. Uh, and they will lift because that's their high day.
Yeah.
Players that didn't play many minutes, they played up to 10 minutes. Why should I push them? They can only make mess on the road especially if we don't have our own weight room. Why to push now? And in the end, weight room cannot compensate
Yeah.
missing basketball. So if we are tomorrow on the road and we have access to good facility, or we are at home and we have access to our own facility, let's make that day hard for them on
Mm-hmm.
the court and in the weight room, especially if everyone is healthy and it's expected that everything will go according to the plan in the next game, and we will not need extremely fresh those guys. And even if they need to play, and they did one day before a little bit harder work because no one is killing players during the in season, but if they did a hard day, they can go back to back. They can still play 10, 15 minutes without feeling fatigued from yesterday or whatever, you know? So everything needs to make sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everything needs to make sense. So knowing when you want to go hard, when you want to go easy, when you want to go moderate during the season is critical. Individualized strength plan, and then also pretty much individualized um, work on the court.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like this point of view, and I think that after this answer, we smoothly move to the question about those guys who frequently out of roster, so they don't play a lot, and how their training schedule looks like, and what are key solutions for maintaining shape in this case. I
Yeah,
mean, in the NBA for sure.
yeah. I always try to be extremely positive with those players because in the end they all want to play basketball, and you
Mm-hmm.
know that already if they are out from roster for a certain period of time, you know that it has an impact, negative impact on their mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to present this as a chance to grow, and I would never use word maintain,
Mm-hmm.
even though maybe we are just looking for maintenance because those guys are already physically developed or whatever. Grow in any way, you know, work on different things. Depends on what players really need to work on. Maybe some young players really need to develop basic strength, uh, elastic strength, you name it. Maybe you have some veteran players who are not getting a lot of minutes, and then it's a lot of um, tissue health, resilience, taking care of their Achilles, patellar tendons, or patellar ligament, however you want to call it, anatomy nerds. Uh, you know, it depends who you have in front of you. But always there is room to grow, and grow doesn't always mean grinding through high number of reps or having 500 pounds of weight on your back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I would always present it that way, and uh, it is expected that maybe you would have a little bit more time than usual in the weight room, meaning that from like 25, 30 minutes sessions, maybe you can bring it up to 45 minutes, sometimes even a little bit longer, up to 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
You increase a little bit the volume of work and work on more things simultaneously. Uh, you know. Uh, and yeah, I would just look at it from development perspective, try to present a plan. Um, 1 month in advance, not longer. And I would say, like, look, we have something to focus on. We have goals in our mind. I hope that you will play next week and that everything will change and you will get your minutes and you will be called up. You will become part of the roster, and that's it. This is my goal, bro. Like,
Mm.
I'm not the happiest if we finish this program of 1 month. I'm the happiest if you're happy and you play on the court. But until they change certain things, let's stick to this plan because
Mhm.
I care about you and I don't want to be in a mode of surviving day to day. I
Mhm.
will give my best and as a coach, I will give you what is needed, right? So I would present it that way, and I would not for sure talk about something that is 3 months long because then it's like doubting in their skill. But at least next couple of weeks to have in mind what we would work on, I think could be beneficial. In the end, it's all about how you communicate and how you explain stuff that you want to do. In the NBA, you're always extremely connected to the skill coach that he's working with. So you can also make that connection and kind of being on the same page regarding individual skills work. And then to maintain or even develop if it's needed, but at least to maintain basketball endurance and basketball shape, uh, they need to work on the court by playing 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5 between players and coaches.
Mhm.
That's another pretty big difference between the NBA and EuroLeague. In the NBA, you have another group of assistant coaches that is called Stay Ready Group, and
Mhm.
player coaches that are expected to play when it's needed to play. So on those, let's say game day plus one, um, when you have five players that need to work on the court with contact, there might be one coach who's going to join them and play 3-on-3. There might be three coaches and you will play 4-on-4 full
Mhm.
court. There might be even five coaches. Depends on the tactical task. But there is always a group of coaches who are ready to play, depending on the the goal and the design of that training session. But this is the way how we would maintain and develop uh, physical capacities
Mhm.
during the incident.
Okay, cool. You already said that you also had experience with Charlotte Farm team, Greensboro Swarm, and I knew it before, so because you didn't hide it, I could understand. And I wanna ask you about the responsibilities of strength and conditioning coach, let's say head strength and conditioning coach in G League team. What did you do there inside this group of people? But I guess that it is pretty similar as it happens in Europe when you're just one athletic guy, you just have a ton of work to do and you just help everybody to perform as good as they could.
Yes, you put it the right way. You explained it. It's usually one strength coach, head strength coach, and it sometimes you have an assistant that could be a physical therapist,
Mm-hmm.
who does both things, and in that way you could have like an assistant, but it's not super common.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you're alone, and as you said, you wear different hats, and it is pretty much the same as in Europe, especially like a little bit lower level teams
Mm-hmm.
where you're alone and you're covering S&C, sports science, rehab, nutrition, everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's move to your Summer League 2K25 experience. Can you please describe your feelings after winning this tournament, after winning the ring? By the way, did you get the ring, your own or not?
Yes,
Yes?
I got the ring, and this was something unique. I didn't expect. I thought that only players will get it and
Uh-huh.
coach.
Uh-huh.
They gave rings immediately to all of us, so
Wow.
it's not a replica. It was the real ring right there. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, I love the experience because I got to work with the team. We had a great group of players and also coaches. Coaching staff was pretty cool. Um, and then in Vegas, you get a chance to meet so many people. I mean, we met a couple of times, and
Yeah.
a lot of people from Europe come. So after not being in Europe for almost a year, I got to see some friends and colleagues that I really like to spend time with. Um, Summer League in general was pretty cool. We went there very early. We were the first team who arrived there like 5 days before the first
Mm.
official game. And we took advantage to work more as a team. We had at least, I think, three really good team practices there. And it was pretty cool. I really like the summer league games because they're a little bit different from the NBA. There is no music that is played throughout the game,
Mm.
so you can hear the crowd, you can hear the referees, players. Um, there is a little bit less people on the bench, so you really get to be on the court during the games, which is not so common for strength coaches. And then, as you said, winning it and getting the ring was just priceless. No, I mean the ring is there; it's physical material thing that
Mhm.
most likely I will give to my son one day.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, he already owns it, like it's his ring. I really don't mind, but just as a memory, it's a pretty cool thing to have.
Yeah, yeah, never forget for sure. And we move to last pool of NBA question. One of my subscribers asked. They are pretty interesting. I suppose first one, why you decided to pause club career after very first NBA season?
Mhm. Well, I have my own specific reasons why I went to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I went there for the experience.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go there to get the money, chase the fame, or whatever. I really went there to get the experience and see. And actually, that's why I love the role of the assistant. People
Mm-hmm.
don't expect a lot from you, but whatever you deliver, and if you're proactive, they will appreciate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and uh, not being a leader in the NBA, in a way, I was a leader on the G League team just because you are alone in that position. But not being a leader gives you a chance to take 2, 3 steps back and observe people.
Mm-hmm.
So on a daily basis, I had the scanner in my eyes, scanning everyone, literally everyone, because I could easily compare it to many years of experience in EuroLeague and EuroCup and you name the levels. And this is what I wanted to experience, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And just because of my background, I was given a lot of work to do, so it was pretty intense, especially during certain periods like pre-draft combine and those moments, and then Vegas being alone, taking care of many things at the same time. That was pretty cool. And I got even like when I started to analyze my season in Vegas, sitting down with you and some other European guys, I told them right away. Maybe I even told you that I got even more than I expected from the very first season.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that I will need 2, 3 years um, at that level to really understand how things operate. For us with the Hornets, it was pretty intense season. A new group of people, a lot of changes. Our VP of Health and Performance had to unfortunately leave the team in December, so we were in this uh, uh, strange position for a couple of months, not knowing if the new VP is coming. Then new VP came. We all had to adjust to new environment, blah blah blah. And I got the offer to stay. I got the offer to with even increase in salary to stay at the same position. But getting that experience was just priceless. And my wife got pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
so not having a chance to really grow in a position and taking care of the same things, and on the other side having uh, this blessing of wifey being pregnant, I decided to do what's best for the family.
Mm-hmm.
Selfishly looking at it, I could have stayed, and I know now that if you're a good professional and you know how to be around people and you really devote a lot of time to work, doors will open. You
Yeah.
know, so I didn't have any doubts in my growth if I stay, but I wanted to also prioritize my family after being for so many years outside of Croatia. And I spoke to my uh, clients that I had before, Zubac mainly and Shane Larkin. I spoke to them. They opened doors right away when I told them that I'm considering maybe moving back
Mm-hmm.
uh, because of the family. That the NBA experience was amazing. I would repeat that season. I would repeat 100 times out of 100 times, but I didn't feel like I need to push it just so I can keep chasing something that I don't know even what I'm chasing, because I didn't go there to become a director or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I really came there for the experience, and I really wanted to show to my family and to myself that uh, we always talk as coaches. Yes, we will prioritize family, but we rarely do it. And I had enough courage to do it and to go back to the setup that I really like here in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
working with Zubac in the off season and then taking care of Shane. And that's why I'm now in Istanbul. And there are some other things that I work on, but these are the main things. It makes me happy. It makes my family happy. And yeah, that's why I decided to move back.
Good point of view. I respect it, really respect it. It's like the words of a man, of a grown-up man who always needs to make this choice. And family, I'm not sure that for everybody, but for most of coaches, family is really first. And it is very difficult at some point to be everywhere, doing your job, especially when you're traveling with the team always, and you already have kids, you soon gonna have two of them. So things got really serious, but I'm happy for you. And one more thing, you told that it's sometimes very useful, even maybe more useful to become an assistant, but on the highest level because you have a little bit more space and time for absorbing what's happening around. Same I can say about my internship with Pelicans this summer. So like literally no goals, but even though I had some small tasks to do inside the team, but whole day I was just like making these screenshots on my eyes, observing all the details, all like food, supplements. What about lifting? What about this? What about that? Which bands do you use? So I don't know. I had so many insights during these 10 days that I believe gonna help me a lot during this season. And second question from the same guy, he asked if there were any difficulties that you faced in NBA.
Mhm. I would just say that the difficulty job wise there was nothing. The environment is good. It's just EuroLeague on steroids in terms of traveling,
Mhm.
demands, communication. That's easy. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
do it or you cannot do it. You know, if you go to the NBA and then you complain about the hours that you need to work or the number of chats that you have to answer to on a daily basis, then you're not for the job, man.
For
Just
sure.
go back, or go to private sector.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Personally, for me, it was only time away from the family, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
then uh, letting them go to Europe after Christmas, and them being in Europe for 35 days straight, and then leaving before summer league, and me being in Vegas for so long and not seeing them for another 40 days. That was for me the toughest. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's why my decision, on one end, I was super happy with the experience that I got, and then on the other side, it was very easy to make a decision, you know, to move back, just because I appreciate them so much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got it. And third one from the same guy, he was asking about pros and cons. So in terms of pros and cons of working in NBA, pros are more or less obvious, and you already told a lot about
Mhm.
this side of things. But what are the cons if they really exist?
I would still put it as to like the free time. Now it can be related to family, but days in NBA are long, man. Like you need to very often be at the facility at 5:30 in the morning, 6 if you wanna
Hmm.
do a quick lift, if you wanna be part of the pickup games and play a little bit with the guys and socialize. Those games are played like 6 a.m. to
Yeah.
7 a.m. You take shower and you wait for the player for the meetings to start. There are more meetings on a daily basis, and then first players start to come in at like 8, 8:30, 9. Uh, I know that some veterans in the league show up at the facility at 6, 6:30, 7 a.m., you know, and as a true professional, you want to be there on time, right? Then
Hmm.
post day meetings, and, you know, stuff like that. It just makes a day longer than it is in Europe. And everything is kind of stretched out. Everything lasts longer. Summer breaks don't exist very often, or they are very short. You get 1 week after the summer league, you get another week late August. You know, in Europe we have like 2.5 months off, and you just need to be on your phone in contact with the players. In the
Hmm.
NBA, you know, season is over, 7 to 10 days off. Younger guys come in, they want to continue to work. You know, it's just specific. So the year is long, and then it kind of circles back to time away from family.
Hmm. Hmm. 6 a.m. pickup games sounds tough. It looks like the league of early birds for for sure.
Anyways, I cannot make shots. Imagine me shooting a ball at 6 a.m. I'm just passing the ball.
I got it. I got it. So you already mentioned Ivica Zubac, Shane Larkin, and I have a couple of questions about those guys. So first one is related to Zubac. Uh, can you reveal some details of working with him during this summer? Because if I'm not wrong, you work out with him nearly every summer, and this one was same. Yep. So I just wanted to know how his off season looked like during this period of time. I mean, this year, and if there is any collaborations with team performance stuff during such kind of work.
Funny thing is that Ivica is Croatian guy, but uh, our point of contact, or person of contact, was actually Shapiro, uh,
Hmm.
because I met with Shapiro in New York 4 years ago, and then 3.5 years ago, and that's where when I met Ivica. He was on the stretch table. We went there to say hi to Maggie, and then he was on the stretch table, and I met Zubac for the first time in my life. And uh, at the end of that season, so it was like 3.5 years ago or whatever, uh, Shapiro called me and asked if I want to collaborate with them and if I want to take care of Zubac during the whole off season.
Mm.
And then I said, of course, that was a perfect moment because I was not attached to any team, and it became 3 years ago, 3 summers ago, it became a thing. We worked for 3.5, 4 months. First year, it was just working uh, basically throughout the whole summer. Our general plan is to work Monday through Friday. Weekends are always off
Mhm.
for travel, for family, whatever. Uh, and it really lasts for the whole period. Even when we take a week off from Zagreb, there would be a plan with at least like 3 sessions to work on something, maybe away from basketball court, but we would still continue to work on certain things when it comes to strength, tissue health, resilience, whatever. And then for that reason, from the day one, we are in touch with the Clippers health and performance staff. We have our WhatsApp group that is alive every summer, 5 of us inside. So there is a specific plan that we like to follow. I'm there to adjust according to the situation that we face. And according to the loads that we have also on the court, I'm with him on the court. After every lifting session, we go to the court and I assist um to his personal skills coach. And I'm kind of there to observe the intensity, volume, maybe to add certain conditioning drills when it's needed. And this is basically how we operate. And then last summer, it was pretty much the same, but we had a stint with the national team for the pre-Olympic qualifying tournament. So I was following him with the national team. So I'm there more like a manager of the program and kind of guy who adjusts certain things and general off-season training plan uh, that is proposed by the Clippers. And this summer, I didn't work with Ivica until the end of my contract. I came back very last days of August. So
Mhm.
we hired Jakov, one friend of mine from Zagreb, who is now with Trapani Sharks in Italy, to work with Ivica. And good thing is that Jakov landed the job with Trapani Sharks at the end of August, and I came back to Zagreb and I took care of the very last month before Ivica went back to Vegas. So, as I said, this is how we work Monday through Friday, weekends always off. We have a general plan that is made by the Clippers. I'm there to manage certain things, to adjust, to follow him whatever is needed. And then obviously I also have Shane during summer.
Mhm.
So depends if I have to travel with Shane, but we always find a way, the best way to um help both of them.
Mhm.
And then late September, he's always back in LA.
Mhm. Okay, cool. When you talked about this medical staff chats of LA Clippers, it sounded like a great example of how, without being in the NBA, to still be there. It's like half-time job, but it's cool. And we finished with Ivica. Let's move to Shane a little bit. One of the subscribers asked about features of work with top-level athletes. For instance, Shane Larkin, and he wanted to know who sets the goals, or it goes like consensus, so how cooperation happens in general.
Mhm. Um, well, with Shane, we had this idea of me being his personal strength coach for years, but it had to be a perfect scenario where we would really commit to it. And then I was working already with Ivica, and I almost committed to one EuroLeague team uh, that was causing some problems during negotiation times. And then you know how it happens. when you're expecting to sign a contract within 24 hours, another opportunities appear, and one of them was Shane being very serious about hiring me for the season. And literally in less than an hour, we made an agreement, and I said thanks to that EuroLeague team, and I moved into direction of being his personal strength coach, and that was 2 years ago. And I really enjoyed the job that year, and I that's one of the reasons why I had no doubts that I want to continue this when I go back to Europe. And I'm also happy that it happened very soon after that first season with Shane. Um, so as a personal coach, we have an agreement with the club. We're in touch with the GM, with the head coach, and obviously with Serhat as a head strength coach.
Mhm.
Uh, I know pretty much everything what is happening around the team. We have full freedom um to work in the weight room whenever it's needed. Shane also has a setup at his house if we need to use the weight room. And in the last couple of years, maybe 4 or 5 years, I have been educating myself and training myself through different courses and different people, and even formal education um, at the School of Medicine in a little bit more rehab therapy type of uh, work, so I can deliver a little bit more to my private clients. And I spend a lot of time in the evenings with Shane on the stretch table, and we do a lot of uh, simple but effective soft tissue work that he really believes in. Some players don't believe in preventive soft tissue work. He's one of the guys that does believe in it. So it's a lot of like soft tissue work, release. It can be active with different tools like foam rollers, massage balls. It can be with my own hands. So we are talking a little bit about manual therapy, um, stretching, mobilization. Everything is focused. 95% of our work is focused on the waist down, you know,
Mhm.
legs, hips, knees, ankles, feet, constantly trying to reset the body because Shane plays on average 30 plus minutes
Mhm.
in EuroLeague, and this is basically how we work. We microdose throughout the season because he's a high loader in games. We have a lot of short lifting sessions, 20 to 30 minutes, almost every training day, um, and then a lot of treatments that can be 30 minutes to 1 hour and 30 minutes along. And we have our specific schedule that we like to follow. We evaluate how we start the week. If there is some naggy pain in the quads, in the feet, whatever, then we prioritize that. If not, we have like our specific schedule, what we attack at the beginning of the week, what type of work we do. Is it more like a massage type of work, or is it more like a mobilization type of work that we like to do one day before the game? You know, uh, so it like knowing your client, knowing who you work with, and just communication. And yes, this is a big piece of giving the answer to your question. Cooperation, communication, and sharing what is needed is the best way. Of course, as a coach, I will take the lead. I will provide the program,
Mhm.
but for sure, there is a lot of input from the player, especially someone who is extremely experienced and knows his body so
Mhm.
well, like Shane, like Zubac. They know extremely well their bodies, so it's not like working with 18-year-old kid who is still not aware of capacities of his body,
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to work with them. That's why I love it.
Okay, got it. And please tell us a little bit about your third formal graduation from School of Medicine, how long the program was, and what personal goals stood behind this decision.
Uh, It was a 2 year postgraduate program in sports and rehabilitation medicine at School of Medicine in Croatia. I was given a chance to do it online. Um, just because of my type of work, and I got special permission from the university. Um, and there were two main reasons. One is to get formal education and be kind of formal with the diploma from a little bit like medicine side. And it gives a little bit more strength and more seriousness for the things that I do now,
Mhm.
uh, extra to regular strength and conditioning. And then second reason why I did it is it's a formal diploma for a potential future jobs in management. By management, I mean taking positions like director of health and performance,
Mm.
director of medical and performance. So you can be responsible for managing a team of doctors, physios, strength coaches, sports scientists. It's
Mhm.
not like it's not going to be me reading first MRI or X-ray or saying to our doctor that he's wrong with the diagnosis. Far from that. It's supporting them in their decision-making process, but being responsible for everything that is happening under the health and performance.
Mhm.
Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. No questions. And then we gonna continue with some subscribers' questions. Um,
Mhm.
One of them was about supplements in sports and what do you use with your athletes and what supplements do you consume by yourself? For me, it's also interesting.
Especially what I use
Yeah, 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 yeah.
to look so young.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
I lost my hair at the age of 7 or 8. So everyone, I don't know if I look young. I'm just saying, like, if someone thinks that I look young, it's just because they know me for so long and
Uh-huh.
they start to lose hair now, and then everyone looks older and I look young. I look like I'm still high school Luka. Uh, for people who know me for that long.
Mhm.
Uh, I've been pushing myself to do creatine because I really believe in the effects, not only on the physical side, also on mental side,
Mhm.
and recent research obviously shows it. I've been lucky enough to collaborate with one of the like top three researchers for creatine in the world, Professor Sergei Ostoich, um, and he came up with his formula of creatine called creatine.
I
Uh,
heard about it. Yep.
so we used to use it
Mainstream.
before it was mainstream and before it was trademarked. Um, so I'm a huge proponent of it. The only problem is that whenever I take creatine in powder for a longer period, it kind of upsets a little bit my stomach.
Mhm.
So I would like to try gummies. I was about to commit to trying gummies, creatine gummies, in US for the upcoming season, but I left. So I
Mhm.
have to order
Mhm.
gummies and see how I'm gonna react. And I would say maybe a couple of times a week I would do protein shake, but it's not like after every single workout or that I'm like super serious and that I buy something. I buy like pre-made protein
Mhm.
shake. In Croatia, there is one brand that has like 50 grams of protein, and there is like a yogurt that it's like 25 or 30 grams of protein, and this is what I call a shake, right?
Okay.
But to have powder at home and to make my own shake, I never do it. Literally in the NBA where you have everything on the table from vitamins, minerals, uh,
Even pickle juice.
yes, pickle juice, you name it. I have never had anything. I just took advantage of good healthy diet and the chefs that we had there to eat every day clean.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I have to step up my own game when it comes to basic stuff. Maybe to be a little bit more consistent with doing blood work and maybe looking into something that might be deficient, like maybe in certain periods of year, an extra vitamin D supplement or extra zinc or something like that. But to take something throughout the whole year just because it's a supplement, I don't use it at all.
Mhm.
And something that I would need to take it more consistently would be creatine. because for that you don't need any feedback from your blood work or whatever. When it comes to players, uh, even when you don't have a great diet, um, I always say ABC is creatine, protein, and electrolytes, especially
Hmm.
for players who play many minutes and they sweat. It's not only enough to drink plain water, because with sweating you lose a lot of salts, a lot of minerals. So some kind of electrolyte drinks, protein shake, just because a lot of players are not aware uh, how they eat insufficient amounts of protein, um,
Yep.
and and then creatine, just for recovery and performance, right? So ABC is that. Maybe in certain periods of year, especially when there are back-to-back games, maybe to throw in magnesium glycinate or bisglycinate, uh, as the best magnesium version for muscle relaxation. Uh, and then everything else like multivitamins, vitamin D, fish oil, caffeine, beta-alanine,
Hmm.
uh, sodium carbonate, you name it, you know all of the list.
Yep.
It depends on how rich is your diet, uh, uh, how well you eat, what is your blood work, and so on and so forth, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so there are ABCs, and then everything else is just an extra thing that depends on the player, his diet, his habits, and obviously the blood work.
Yeah, for sure. Once I coached one guy. He's a Serbian. His name Alexa Ratanov. Right now he's playing in EuroLeague in Germany, in Munich. And he told me about creatine. That like our Serbian guy invented one new thing. You need to try it. And after his words, I met same lines in your book. You also mentioned it there. So like it's cool that I met same opinion from both sides at the time, like from coach, whom I respect, and from a player. So right now, I just need to find the way for buying it and try by myself. And by the way, about the dose of creatine, how much creatine is enough? What do you think? Because now everything is moving from standards of 5 grams to some higher amounts because we need to improve our cognitive health, maybe uh, to have some more profits. What is your opinion? Is it enough to have just 5 grams daily, or athletes need some more?
I would always go in that range 3 to 7, depends on your body weight.
Mhm.
If you're 80 to 120 kilos, 80, start with 3 grams and see if there is difference. If you're around 100 kilos, 5 grams. If you're 120, go 7 grams, and go from there, right?
Mhm.
And you can always, after 3 months, you can always increase the dose by 1 gram and then see. Obviously, something that is double doesn't make sense right away. And then also in the long run, if double from 5 to 10 grams, I think that's the upper limit, right? But I think you would feel the benefits if you increase the dose within a year by 30 to 50%, and you can stay there, right? If you were taking 5 grams for 3 to 6 months and then you want to step up the game and add 2 more grams, I think that's more than enough, right?
Mhm. 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 Yeah, I got it.
I don't see, like, I have never experienced in doubling dosages with my athletes, neither with myself, so I cannot say anything from my own experience. But a common sense is why to double something.
Mhm. I saw some researches where people in really contact kinds of sports used about 20 grams daily after concussions, like because the brain needs some support. And when you read it, it seems to be like right way maybe because they after all this they had result they could to recover even better so than they supposed. So it's yeah, I agree with you. So from 3 to 7 is like an absolute must, but if you want to do something new, you can always try. So creatine is not such a dangerous supplement. And then we have additional pool of questions from subscribers. You can answer them really shortly, let's say like a blitz, because they are not so difficult. Simplicity is the key in our job. First one, what part of practice is better for mobility routine?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yep. What part of practice is better for mobility routines?
Well, depends on your goal, obviously. Maybe for a long-term mobility, maybe you will need to devote a little bit more time, and then maybe for that reason you will wait for the end of a session and work on it. There is always a strong debate if you're trying to stretch something that is already very warm. Uh, is it going to improve the mobility? Is it going to improve the flexibility of the muscle? Mobility is more like a joint type of quality.
Yep.
Uh, Sometimes and very often for basketball players, it can demand active strength of the tissue, so it can be developed before and after
Mhm.
training sessions. If you're looking for like a short-term mobility that will help you mobilize joints and feel more loosened for the session, then for sure you have to do it before the session.
Mhm.
You so it depends on your goals, what you're trying to achieve. Are you looking only for a short-term mobilization? Are you looking for long-term goals? And it also um, needs to consider what is the session about. You know,
Mhm.
if,
Mhm.
if it's just like a light shooting practice, then maybe you can do something for a longer uh, period before, because it will not affect in any way uh, your shooting session. But if you have a team practice or a game, stretching and mobilizing for 45 minutes might be a little bit too much.
Sure. Next one. Is it okay to mix sprints and accelerations with plyometrics in one practice?
I mean, sprints and accelerations and decelerations and jumps are part of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's not like if you can mix them, it's recommended sometimes that you mix
Mhm.
them just because it's a multiplanar game. And yes, sometimes you want to isolate and work more on horizontal uh, power, sometimes on vertical, sometimes on lateral. So just to dissect and focus more specifically on something, but there are multi-directional days, and why not to do it? I don't see anything against it.
Yeah, I think that the only thing is about volume. It depends. It depends. Third one, is it worth doing cardio after practice for cooling down?
I don't see a big benefit. I mean, low level cardio um, makes sense to shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic system.
Hmm.
You can also achieve it with just rhythmic slow breathing.
Yeah.
You don't be that active.
Hmm.
It's more about trying to find the easiest method to shift
Yep.
for cooling down and for calming down, and to shift to that recovery state and not workout state.
Hmm.
So you can achieve it through low intensity cardio, either on the bike or whatever, but you can just lie down on the ground and focus on rhythmic breathing and shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic state, you
Yeah.
know.
Or you can give a little walk from the facility to the
Yes,
cafe, for example.
walk,
Same.
walk continuous. I mean, it's low level cardio. Yes,
Hmm.
you will achieve it, but it's not the only way to do it.
Yep.
So it's good method, but you know,
Just try to be flexible. So choose what you like. That's it. Your own current pool of tests for high-level athletes.
oh, that's a good one. First of all, it depends what kind of equipment I have.
Mm-hmm.
Second reason is, second thing that guides me is who am I testing? Is it youth players, veteran players, and so on? It's third is part of the year because in different parts of the year I would work on different things. Uh, and then the very last thing is what I have as my own standards, uh, and what is really important for me at that given moment. So if I get a player who complains and has tendencies to be fat, for sure I'm gonna look for a caliper or whatever to measure body fat because this is going to be a very important KPI for us. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a young kid who needs to work on the explosive strength, I'm gonna try to give my best to find platforms to jump test him uh, and start from there because that's going to be our benchmark. So it's a lot of factors uh, that are driven by the decisions of who am I working with and what are our potential goals, common goals. Um, so yeah, there are no like always specific tests,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that I can now list like these are my 10 tests, 10 standards. It's always very flexible as long as we find something that is meaningful and will be used in programming later on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got it. And another one, also very interesting about tests in NBA teams, which they use during preseason. For example, you already mentioned this Hornets combine. If it is possible, you can just tell about it. If not, okay, maybe it's a secret.
It's a little bit secret because they still are trying to find something that will be meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
It's still they're constructing, so to speak. But everything in the NBA now revolves around new technologies.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you see as something that is hot in the NBA, like techno gym machines that have some kind of um, testing within its um, options, or Voltra Beyond Power
Mm-hmm.
machine, or 1080 Sprint. Those things are something that are hot and that are trying to be used to collect a little bit more data.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got it. We almost finished, by the way. And I didn't forget about this difference between NBA and NHL. Have you ever heard that they officially canceled in NHL preseason testing? So they don't do this anymore. Like,
Oh.
we don't want to disturb players, something like this.
It will happen eventually in the NBA with certain franchises.
Mm.
Uh, it depends. It
Okay.
depends on who you are dealing with.
So now we move into the finalization of our great podcast, and I just want to ask you that about your plans. So you already achieved a lot in S&C field, but as we say in Russia, a well-fed lion is no longer a predator. So what challenges do you set for yourself next?
Um, there are no specific challenges except being the best at current work that I do, and obviously keep growing in that field where I don't think that I'm that experienced, which is soft tissue work, manual therapy,
Mhm.
and I'm not trying to become a brilliant manual therapist. Far from that. I just want to feel a little bit more experienced and learn a little bit more so I can um, deliver a little bit more efficient and effective treatments. So that is something that makes me definitely happy. Uh, and obviously on the strength and conditioning side, try to keep players uh, performing at high level,
Mhm.
feeling good, and being available for all of the games. So this is basically where I see myself helping out with the ESCCA and looking forward to working on the project that we have, educational projects, summit, you name it. Along the way, there will be certain courses and potentially books or new editions of books that I already published. So this is something that is a standard for me. It's
Mhm.
not something that is completely new. Looking forward also to another summer with Ivica,
Mhm.
who finishes this season with the Clippers. Um, and then on the personal side, just be part of my lovely family.
Mhm.
Uh, Looking forward to expand and get the new one um at the beginning of 2026 and just try to balance out everything that is needed to be happy on both end, professional and family.
So the plan is to keep grinding and stay happy.
Oh, sure, of course.
Great. And the last one is really deep questions. The question is about like a philosophy. What do you think is inspiring to become an S&C coach?
Well, inspiring thing is for me, if you really want to be a coach and you want to have impact, you really need to devote time to connect with the players and to really coach them.
Mhm.
And the most fulfilling and inspiring thing is when you see that players continue to grow and stay in touch with you and uh, remind you of certain things that they still do or they like to do that you taught them. Um, and this is the biggest benefit. And then when you see that players stay healthy and players that you work with currently are performing, being happy, and you know that you're a small piece of that puzzle. So just helping others is inspiring. I think beauty of our job is that you also get a chance, but you need to be active in it, like you are, um, to connect with other coaches and make good colleagues or new friends, and grow together and help others become better in any way. Just by you don't have to publish books, you don't have to publish courses. You can just be supportive and be in touch with people and uh, show interest in where they are and what they do and how they achieved it. And this is another inspiring thing. So overall, helping others is the inspiring thing, whether it is players, other coaches, um, and then after many years in the field, um, you really grow a network around you, and many people become your true friends that you invite to your house, and this is the most inspiring thing for me.
Yeah, for sure. And what is inspiring to continue staying in the field for a long time and continue to grow? What do you think?
Uh, I think just love for the game, for the work, for the always positive people that want to achieve more, and just looking at the younger guys who are coming as young coaches and people who attend seminars, courses, they read books, they show up at summit every single year, and then you see them getting a chance to work in higher and higher levels, and they move around the world is inspiring. I think for me, seeing the growth of players and professionals in the field is inspiring because it pushes me to grow and uh, it's just uh, you know besides wins and love for the game, it's definitely super inspiring.
Totally agree. Great. I could not wish better start of the project. Thanks, Luka, for sharing your time. First of all, for sharing your knowledge, for sharing your wisdom at the end of our conversation. I always appreciate it, brother. And I'm pretty sure that all this experience that you gave us today gonna help people to improve themselves. So thanks a lot one more time.
Welcome. Good luck with everything. Always pleasure to talk to you. It's like a friendly conversation, and hopefully we can share something with your community. And I'm happy that this project goes in English. So yeah, best of luck, and as always, we will be in touch.
Yeah, sure. See you. I hope see you soon. We'll stay in touch.
Take care.